welcome to Conversations with Anasa. So happy to see you all. So, first of all, this morning, we want to introduce a new mantra that has come to us because it's a bridge between the third dimension and the fifth dimension. The third dimension is primarily dual. And you can think of that as the in-breath and the out-breath. And the space in between is the unity, which is fifth dimension. And so we say in the space in between, I am in perfect union. And this, of course, refers to the union with divine matrix, ultimate reality, God, the God field, dynamism and stillness, potency and stillness. However we want to refer to this field of the beyond, field that is beyond language. So the mantra is, I am in perfect union. So let's begin our meditation. Take your attention inside. As usual, we begin in the place of grounding, just below our belly button. Say into that space, I am in perfect union. And just feel into that space. As you breathe in, make a space. Breathe out, make a space. I am in perfect union into that space. When you're ready, gently drop your attention to the tip of the tailbone. I am in perfect union. Drop your attention down just below the earth. I am in perfect union. When you're ready, gently bring your attention up to your heart center. in between the spaces between the breaths. I am in perfect union. Take your attention to your throat center. Again, breathe in. I am in perfect union. Breathe out. I am in perfect union. Take your attention to your third eye, behind and between your eyebrows, in the center of your head. Inhale, I am in perfect union. Exhale, I am in perfect union. Take your attention up to where the top of your aura is, where your fingers would touch if you made a halo around your head. I am in perfect union in the space between the breaths. Gently breathe from the top of your aura to the energy center under the ground. And at each end, I am in perfect union. Then breathe up to the top of your aura, again down the front and up the back. This is the small celestial circle. As your energy centers become clearer and clearer, you will experience yourself as a rainbow body of light. As you're ready, gently bring your attention back to your grounding center just below your belly button, and then into the room, and we'll begin our conversation. Welcome. How may we serve this morning? We had one question during the week that came to us, and that is, why does Annassa do this? Why has Annassa come to serve humanity? And I'll tell you, I asked this question. Rebecca, asked this question of Annassa every way I could think of it: inside, outside, up, down, forward, back. And the only answer I ever got in various forms was that we wish to serve. It is our great purpose to serve humanity through this evolutionary period. We are here to uplift humanity. There is nothing in it for us except the joy of service. And we live from that joy. We live in that space beyond. We are not that space exactly, but we live from that space. And so we wish to share that with you. If it's not simple, it's not spiritual. How may we serve further? Yes. Oh, Suzanne, I hope you don't mind if I say your name. I just said it.
You're all right.
Thank you.
I unmute. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. This is related definitely to Anasa and the guides. It was through these sessions that I learned that each of us have two beings angels, whatever name we would call them. Is there a way to be acquainted with those beings? I believe they're here around me, but how do I interact?
The first thing that's required is to ask. You have
Ah,
to ask. They cannot cross without an invitation. So you have to ask to be informed.
okay,
And then the way they speak to us is through synchronicity.
right.
And you'll just have a knowing arise inside yourself. Sometimes even in answer to a question that you didn't yet know to ask.
Okay.
Suddenly this knowing will arise, and you'll know that you're in communication with the forces that are trying to elevate your awareness.
Thank you. A slightly related question is, after people die, then do they go through some training to participate in this way with humanity?
What happens after people die is that they go through a review period of what their blueprint was when they came here, when they agreed to come here.
Mm-hmm.
They set out a blueprint for themselves of challenges to meet. And so there's a blueprint review. And that period is, of course, outside of time because time only exists here.
Right.
So that happens. And then what happens after that is, we'll just say mutually agreed upon.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And it has to do, it truly has to do with joy, because everything is about divine creativity and expression, or let's say divine creative expression. And so what happens is, beyond this field of awareness where we are, there is no good and bad, or judgment, or, good and evil, or these dual concepts don't really exist. But we spoke about this earlier, it's the play of consciousness to take embodied form and have experience. And when you understand from a perspective of witness that this experience is fulfilling itself, is how we'll say it, and that it's really play of, we don't mean to minimize it, but it's sort of like a divine movie.
Hmm.
And from this witness state, you can experience your life not exactly as though you're living in a movie, but there's less attachment to outcome. And as your attention gets away from focusing on outcome and is focused on who you are in this moment, expressing yourself, so that you are living proof of your awareness of connection to the field of the all that is just beyond love, peace, joy, and gratitude. As you begin to live from that field, then the focus on outcome, which is always future oriented, begins to pull into the present moment.
Hmm.
And as you are living this state of being, this state of awareness, as you cultivate this, it becomes more and more your daily life. And so spiritual practice is no longer something you just do on the cushion when you're in meditation, but it becomes a living practice that you're doing as you interact with whatever you're interacting with throughout your day, whether that's people, your own creative awareness, your own creative experience, your interaction with nature. All of these fields are ways that we experience our creativity in action. And do you remember what we were saying when we lost it?
No, I don't exactly. It was after you were talking about when we were in divine creative expression that we were becomes a part of our day.
Okay, so
After that.
So what we were talking about is that as you become more and more in this state of alignment with the mantra we gave this morning, as you begin to feel more in perfect union, which is another word for alignment, as that begins to become your experience of your daily life in every way that you experience your creative energy, be it with another person or people, with nature, with your interactions just on a walk in the world. Every interaction that you have becomes an expression of your creative alignment, and you begin to become aware of the power of that just in the tiny things. For example, if you're in the grocery store, you notice that especially at this time, people are very serious and they're keeping their 6 feet distance, and they're, everybody's kind of hyper aware that it gets very, very serious. And if you just look at someone and smile with your eyes, because you can't exactly see anything but the eyes now, but if you look and smile, you will notice that people begin to change in how they interact. They can't help but smile back. And so that uplifts the feeling of just that simple exchange, opening a door for somebody else or allowing somebody to open a door for you. Giving and receiving are part of the same exchange. They're part of the same frequency. So just participating in that way with a little bit of consciousness and levity. It's so doggone serious out there. And it's true, COVID can be a life and death thing, especially for those of us who are, over 60. But we don't have to be so serious about it. If it happens, it's part of our blueprint, and that's what happens. But death itself even is not so serious.
Right.
When we have the experience of being, when we understand that the love doesn't die, that we really are pure love, that we come out of pure love, that we return to pure love. And in a way, this is but a dream. It's also real. It's our reality now. And so we do the best we can to be connected and understand that there is already a perfection in that. That everything that happens in our lives happens at the right time. There's no such thing as the wrong time or too early or too late, or, I didn't get this. I wish I'd known it when I was 20. I would have had a whole different life. No, this is all part of our blueprint. And so we can be at ease that this divine perfection was orchestrated by us. with our complete participation, and that what we're experiencing, for the most part, is in harmony with what we agreed to. That does not mean that we don't have difficult experience. Part of what we agreed to is to have difficult experience to become more versatile in our creative expression. So it's all already perfect. And that knowledge of the inherent perfection of our experience releases us from trying to control it, because we can't anyway. You know, we all know by now, because we've tried to control for so long, that we might as well give it up because it doesn't work. It doesn't happen. You know, we try and try and try, but we have no control over much of anything. You know, we can maybe control our breathing, maybe some of the time when we put our attention on it. We can maybe control what comes out of our mouths, maybe with a lot more attention. We can try to control our thoughts, but, you know, we've all tried that a lot too. And in a way, they don't really ever stop. What happens is that our attention goes somewhere else, somewhere deeper in us, into this state of being. And we begin to experience ourselves as pure energy. And in that energy, there is no longer any inside or any outside, any up or down, anything but pure oneness with light. Light itself. We are light beings. And meditation is the experience of ourselves as this pure light. And the more we cultivate it, the more it becomes available. And part of the cultivation is clearing out the distractions of old, undigested negative experience. And some of it we can just let go of. And what we can't, we can use Ho'oponopono to transform it. And as we become more and more aware of ourselves as light beings, our experience in the world changes. Our experience of ourselves, of how we treat others, and what happens in our lives. It is continuously upgrading. We hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. It's our great joy to be with you. How may we serve further?
How do celestial beings experience, quote, living?
So the question is, how do celestial beings experience, quote, living? So it depends on the dimension. So we'll talk about the 12th dimension, although you understand that beyond the 3rd dimension and the 5th dimension, human language doesn't really cut it, because humanity doesn't yet have the experience to have the language to express what these fields of experience are. So all we can do is sort of point. We can tell you that we have emotions, but they This language problem. They don't go below a certain frequency. They don't go dark. Dark's not exactly the right word. We're sorry, we can't find the language for it. So this is the problem. What we can talk a little bit about is fifth dimension, which is where humanity is headed. And this is much more relevant anyway. So where humanity is headed is to this field of perfect union. And in this field of perfect union contains the understanding of the perfection of life itself, of the perfection of human interrelatedness with nature, human interdependence with everything of the earth. Everything. All parts are welcome. All parts of humanity are welcome. All parts of our internal, our external. Everything is welcome. It is in the process of upgrading itself, ourselves, from third dimensional reality to fifth dimensional reality, where there is this perfect union and this perfect harmony between abundant experience and whatever is needed. And in this perfect union, there is no thought of not having. And if there is no thought of not having, then having just appears. It just happens. But humanity is constantly thinking, I have to get this, I have to get that, I don't have this, I don't have that. And so they have more don't having. They have more not. They have more what they're concentrating on. Where you put your attention is what grows. So if you think, I can't afford that, then you won't be able to afford that. And it's not just a matter of the thought. It's a matter of the deep belief, the matrix of belief. So if you have as your matrix of belief that unless you do A, you can't get B, then that will be true. But if you have as your matrix of belief, oh, I already have A, that's not a problem, B appears. This is hard to explain because it's not linear. And everything about human experience in human matrix of belief is linear. A, B, C, D, E. That's linear. Quantum, I have A, therefore E appears. It's not linear. It is an allowing for whatever is appropriate in the moment to be the moment, to be in this moment. Again, it's hard to find language because all the language is linear. So we end up just pointing with love, peace, joy, and gratitude to what's available. If you can imagine living from gratitude, this will begin to propel you into fifth dimensional experience. You know, you start with thinking of 3 things that you're grateful for. And you expand it. Air, water, food, warmth, a room, a friend, an animal. it doesn't matter anything in your environment that you can cultivate gratitude. And then the experience of loving yourself. One way we have found that really works for people to have this experience of loving yourself is to, and this works for adults, not just children, to have a stuffed animal. And you take this stuffed animal and you can give it a name. You can even give it your own name. And it can be you as a child or you as you are now. It doesn't matter. And you take this stuffed animal and you hug it to your heart. And you love it with everything you have. And this brings you to the experience of love. And we'll explain this a little bit because in Matrix of Belief, as tiny beings, we are taught that it's okay to love others, but it's somehow very selfish to love ourselves. And so we're constantly putting out what we really want to have for ourselves and excluding ourselves at the same time. So we don't actually get to live from this experience of love. And when it does come toward us, we identify it with the other person instead of exactly being able to receive it. So we love them, but we can't receive the love that they're trying to give us because we somehow believe that we don't deserve it, or we can't have it, or whatever it is, however the matrix of belief is set up in us, we don't allow it. We don't allow ourselves to truly participate in this love. And so it takes an act of self-generosity to bring a stuffed animal, an inanimate object, into our arms. And we just love it. And then we feel the love. We actually can begin to participate in that feeling of love. It's an amazing phenomena, but this works, and we encourage all of you to try it. You can start with a pillow. Doesn't, it's an object that you love, and when you love, you experience love inside yourself. It's not outside you, it's inside you. And this is why love is so important. When you experience gratitude, you experience it inside yourself. When you experience happiness, you experience it inside. And after a time, these kind of experiences begin to blur together into that which is beyond, which is bliss. We hope that answers the question. How may we serve further?
What is the best way to invite the angels to cross over?
So the question is, what is the best way to invite the angels to cross over? You can ask to be informed of their presence. Say, I wish to be informed of angelic presence in my life. Or how may I be informed of angelic presence? Ask to be taught. And you can make the invitation that feels authentic to you. Because this is about you relating to what's available to you. And so you make a space inside yourself. Please show me, please teach me, whatever feels like the authentic request from you. So it's not exactly a formula that we can give you because it has to do with the depth of your desire. And so cultivating this desire in yourself for deeper experience of gratitude, deeper experience of peace, deeper experience of love, deeper experience of trust of life itself. This is what takes us, what allows us to expand. Most of us in our matrix of belief have been taught to fear almost the entire list of things that we just mentioned. And so as you begin to deepen your practice, to own your requests, to ask truly from inside yourself for these experiences, you may run into fear. This is why we've given you Ho'oponopono. As soon as you feel that rise up, you say, oh, fear, thank you for coming. You look around. Is there anything for me to be afraid of? Is my life in danger? Generally speaking, the answer will be no. If the answer is yes, you do whatever you need to take care of yourself, of course. But when you assure yourself of your safety, then you feel inside, hello, fear. I think I'm safe. How may I serve you into harmony so that we can move forward into a deeper experience of trust of the all that is. And the fear may get bigger. You welcome it to get bigger, and you begin to say Ho'oponopono. And most of the time, the fear will transform into another emotion. Say, hello, shame. Thank you for showing yourself to me. How may I serve you? Ho'oponopono to shame. Shame blends into frustration. Hello, frustration. How may I serve you? Ho'oponopono. To your highest self, I'm sorry. I'm not in connection with you in this moment. Please forgive me for losing my connection. I love you. Thank you. Whatever order these sentences come to you, this is how you reestablish perfect union, alignment with the all that is. We hope this answers your question. How may we serve further?
Hello. If this is a good time, could you please describe for us again the Anasa Temple?
So the Anasa Temple is where we go when we have difficult experiences with other people, and we know we can't say what we want to say because we've already tried a number of times and it doesn't go anywhere. So we step back and we think of what it is that we really, really, from our highest self, want to say to their highest self. And we're going to tell you the priority in relationship, a question to ask when you're getting into any relationship with anyone is, do they bring out the best in me? Do I bring out the best in them? And so before you go to an Anasa Temple, we want you to ask this question about the relationship that you want to create more flow with. And so especially the pertinent question is, how do I bring out the best in them? How do I bring out the best in me? Both of these are really important that you consider as you choose your phrases that you're going to say in the Anasa Temple. So with that in mind, then you write down, and you take your time to write down 2 or 3 sentences of what you want to say to that person's highest self. And you sort of try them on for a while so you're really sure that what these sentences are about is creating a situation where you and this person are trying to bring out the best in each other. Now, you can't control another person. That's not what this is about. What it's about is articulating inside yourself what you would like to say. And so we're giving you a context to figure that out. How does this bring out the best in me? How does this bring out the best in them? And from that framework, you'll come up with the sentences that will be most effective. So then the trip to the Anasa Temple begins with you in a white room. And you gather yourself in that white room. And you make sure you have your statement with you, either written down or you know exactly what you're going to say. And then you actually journey to the temple. You feel yourself in light, comfortable clothing. You walk to the door. You open the door of this white room, and as you step out of the room, there is a beautiful meadow to your left, full of wildflowers in the sun. There's a beautiful blue sky, and in front of you is a pine forest with a thick bed of pine needles. You're in your bare feet, and you begin to walk in the forest through a well-worn path toward the Anasa Temple. And you take your time because you are gathering yourself to be your highest self when you arrive at the temple. So you just take your time and you feel the sun on your face, alternating with the shadows on your face as you go under the trees and then under the sun and then under the trees, and different parts of your body feel this warmth and coolness as you walk, and you just take your time. And as you look off in the distance, you will see the Anasa Temple. It's an 8-sided structure with a dome. There are windows with curtains gently flapping in the breeze. And as you get closer to the temple, you see that there's a brook in your path. And you understand that that little brook of water is for you to walk through, to wash your feet as a symbolic cleansing of your intention before you walk up to the temple. You wipe your feet off on the grass. If you don't feel quite ready yet, you may sit down for a minute and gather yourself before you go into the temple. When you're ready, you stand up, you walk to the door, you make sure you're ready with your sentences. You walk into the temple, open the door. You may bow because you will notice immediately you are in a sacred space. There are 2 chairs or 2 cushions there, depending on how you like to sit. And so you take your seat, you gather yourself again. You feel for the presence of Annassa around you in this sacred, protected space. And you invite the highest self of the person you wish to deliver your message to. When they arrive, you deliver your message. When you have finished, you allow them to leave. You gather yourself again in gratitude for having had this opportunity to deliver your message. Then you gently get up. You may bow again in acknowledgement of the sacred space and the gift of this practice. Then you go ahead and go out the door. You may take some time to sit outside the temple and digest your experience, or you may just go retracing your steps the way you came, taking your time to absorb the experience. When you get back to the white room, then you allow yourself to come back to your body and you go about your day. And you allow that person time and space. And you will notice what changes and what doesn't. And that has everything to do with them. But you have done what's possible. And it is our experience with the Anasa Temple that it's very powerful. We thank you for that question, and we'll say that you can go to the Anasa Temple for people who are living and for people who have passed. That time is not relevant in that space. And so it doesn't matter if somebody passed, 40 years ago. You can still go to the temple and say what you have to say. And it will have power. But these are lived through experiences that are available to you as you negotiate your inner experience. We hope that answers your question. How may we serve further?
Would you talk about the nature of the dimensions? We've talked about the 4th and 5th. What about those beyond?
Well, You've seen us struggle with language today. Even talking about the fifth dimension, we have some trouble. So the problem is the English language just can't go there. The English language is linear, and so it's limited to linear thought process. And the quantum field, which is fifth dimension, we can point your intuition toward it by saying love, peace, happiness, gratitude, and that which is beyond. And we can talk about a field of abundance where everything that we need becomes present when we need it, where we don't exactly have our nose to the grindstone with this punishment reward system. Instead, we are truly engaged in this flow of abundance that we're participating in every waking moment, and where our frequency of expression is, we'll use the word positive, but any way that we say it is going to have a polarity to it. So this is the problem, is that with linear thinking, there are always polarities. With quantum thinking, there are fields of experience. And so these fields of experience have to do with flow and abundance, and the concept of not having, or having to work for somebody who has power over you. These concepts are not in fifth dimension. There's nobody controlling anybody. There is collective experience, and there is a trust that is, we don't want to say taken for granted, because that reduces the experience to something linear. It's a trust that is an agreement that it would never occur to us to violate. And violate is also a word that would not be part of the matrix of belief. So it's a whole different matrix of belief, where the assumptions of the human collective and how human beings treat each other with respect, love, peace, happiness, gratitude. These are all the common values, the base values, the foundational assumptions that have to do with every experience, because the human collective has risen above this need for duality, for top and bottom, control, controllee. These concepts are no longer part of the collective experience. And so the collective experience is one of abundance and creativity, where all creative invention is shared and upgrades the total experience of every human, not just a select few, where we hope this gives you the flavor of fifth dimension. This is where we're headed. This is why we do spiritual practice, to become this in ourselves, to live through our own evolution to this creative experience that all of humanity is headed toward. And we are being guided by angelic forces and dimensional forces beyond us, which truly, truly want to help. And so as we make ourselves available to the field of information that can help us participate in these experiences, we become more. And we allow this creative experience, these energies that are coming through to you at this moment, we allow them into our own field as we become more and more ourselves access points for this information to be transmitted and for our own experience to be transmuted so that we are living in the fifth dimension, regardless of the third dimensional experiences going on around us. And so this is what we're cultivating inside ourselves. We hope this gives you some view of what we're trying to make available to you in this moment. Going beyond the fifth dimension, it turns out we don't have language. Much as we would like to express it to you, we can't. The second we can, we will. We promise. How may we serve further?
How do you feed or placate demons?
The question is, how do you feed or placate demons? So we're going to say that the demonic anger, fear, sadness, loneliness, heartbreak, these are the demons inside us. Shame, greed. The demons inside us are the things that would take our energy and create something less than out of it. How you placate demons is Ho'oponopono. Demons are what take us out of alignment with our higher selves, with divine matrix. These are synonyms for the same things. Our higher self and divine matrix, ultimate reality, the God field, God. These names all point to the same thing, that which is beyond love, peace, joy, gratitude. That field beyond is divine matrix. Demons are what distract us from divine matrix. Simple as that. We need go nowhere to find our demons. They naturally arise within us, and we use our practice. First, we can try to just let go of them. Sometimes that works. Sometimes they're too ingrained in our experience that we can just let go of them. So we feel into the disharmony. The disharmony is the space between us and our ability to connect to divine matrix in this moment, our ability to connect to that love, peace, joy, gratitude, and that which is beyond. A demonic experience is anything that separates us from that awareness. So we say, hello, anger. Welcome. I see you. I'm sorry to my highest self. Anger has taken place here, taken root here. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And very often before we've said this 10 times, the anger will turn into a different emotion. That's fine. Hello, shame, or hello, rage. Maybe it gets bigger. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Understand that when we say Ho'oponopono, we are saying it to our deepest self. We are reestablishing our union, our perfect union with our own divinity. I am in perfect union. This is where we are going with our practice. Perfect union is fifth dimensional experience. The way to perfect union is through the field of demons, which is undigested negative experience within us. This undigested experience, because it's been there for a while and it kind of gets pushed down because our matrix of belief is that we don't want to feel this. And so instead we seek pleasure and we avoid pain, and we seek pleasure and we avoid pain, until one day we realize, this isn't working. Maybe we have to do something else. And we start to unearth the pain. We welcome the pain. The pain is our demons. We invite them. We feed them the nourishment of love, peace, joy, and gratitude through our commitment to being aligned with our highest self, to being in divine matrix. I'm sorry to our highest self. Please forgive me. Please help me melt this obstruction. This is what Ho'oponopono does. It burns through these crystallized patterns of compressed negativity from all our years of seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. So these experiences, as they arise in us and distract us from our alignment, these are the demons. We love them into harmony. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. As our alignment comes back, I love you. And there we are. I am in perfect union. This is our practice. We're so grateful for that question. Thank you. Actually, we're grateful for all the questions we've had today. Every single one of them has been fantastic. We love this. So let's experience a little more perfect union. Okay, let's go back to meditation. We really want to say thank you. It's been such a joy to us to be with you. So take your attention inside. And this time we'll just go straight to the energy center below the earth. As you breathe into it, I am in perfect union in the space between the breaths. Feel into that space. When you're ready, exhale up to the top of your aura. I am in perfect union. Inhale down below the earth. I am in perfect union. Exhale up. I am in perfect union. Continue at your own pace. As you feel ready, gently bring yourself back to this space below your belly button. And gently back to this space. We have so much enjoyed being with you today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We bow to you. We are delighted with this contact and with your work. Thank you so much for being with us today. Bye for now.